Hey there, how you doing? Really glad you joined. People ask me often how I've found forgiveness and how I live so freely, having experienced some of the neglect, the abuse, narcissistic abuse, and so on. It's really been imperative for me to come to a place of forgiveness, and that took a lot of work and time and a shift in my perspective. I've walked through a lot of tough circumstances. I mean, in my childhood, I didn't understand a lot of what I was suffering was truly abuse, even though it felt unjust. I thought most families were the same, and I never spoke about it. So when I got into my early 20s and saw myself manufacture some of the same behaviors, I saw the red flag. And that's when I started to examine my upbringing with a professional therapist to help me walk through it. And quite frankly, there was a long period where I was in rage. I was really angry. A lot that I had not expressed was finally free to come up. And I think that's been a necessary piece for me. So I don't just discount the anger and the rage and the feelings of injustice. And that's followed through my life as I've confronted various different challengers and challenges. But ultimately, what I've discovered is the other person is a human being just like me, and they're having their own life experience. And when I really take a deep look, I see that the way they have behaved has actually served my soul growth, my evolution as a being on earth. And I didn't always see it clearly this way, but once I was able to, look under that boulder and see the beauty, things really changed in my life. And I did start to live with a lot more freedom. I think it was really pivotal in adulthood when I was going through a divorce from a man that I absolutely loved, but one whom I believe may have been a narcissist. And to understand that he was actually a teacher. I mean, I call him a guru in podcasts and in interviews and in the book I wrote, because he was a great teacher for me to stand up, see what I was accepting as far as my self worth, my value, to see what I was living and allowing, and then to step up to that and to step out of the victim role, feeling a victim of that circumstance. And that's where a lot of my clients come and they're tripped up because they're stuck in that victim role and they want to get even and they want justice and they want integrity in a relationship or from an individual, a boss or an employer. And you know what? That's not my job. It's not my job to educate someone else and try to control them to see things the way I do. And I've really been able to step back in life and allow people to have their experience and to ultimately understand that has nothing to do with me. It's a choice. And so in my own divorce process, I made a choice that I would let the anger come up. I would notice it. And then I would see that it was energy and it could dissipate and it could shift. And I could focus on the next positive action in front of me. And those actions piled up. And those positive experiences and moments started adding up. And my life got significantly better because I wasn't hanging on to the rage and the anger any longer. And anger and rage still can come up over circumstances that I've experienced. sexual abuse, inequity in partnerships. But ultimately, when I look at it as a life lesson, what have I learned? How can I see this differently? And now I have the freedom and the space to shift and change has been amazing. I live in a new zip code. I'm not even in the same place that I was in, and I'm not expending energy unnecessarily on chasing my tail over things that aren't going to shift. I'm focusing on positive steps I can take, and that opens so much more opportunity. And then that grace takes over, and you see it radiate. And I see it in my clients. I see their changes and their growth. So I hope this share has helped you today. I really encourage you to go within, let go of judgment, the self and otherwise, and to take the next right action. And we're all in this together, believe me. If this has helped you, please subscribe and share it with somebody that also could be helped, that's stuck in the muck, because there is a better way, an easier way, and it will lead to prosperity and abundance and living a whole and healthy life.